Hi, yeah. My name is Nicola Swanson. I'm a naturopath and a medical herbalist, among many other things. And I've been in clinical practice for around, I think, 12 years now, since 2006. So it's been a long time. And one of the things I'm really passionate about is showing people how delicious and nutritious and easy healthy food can be. So one of the projects that I often get my clients to do is sprouting seeds. So I thought I'd do a little YouTube clip just to give you guys some ideas about what are the benefits of it, how easy is this to do, and I guess just what sort of things can we perhaps add it to as well. All right, so if we're thinking about some of the benefits of sprouting, obviously the key things that we know is that when we sprout our seeds, the amount of vitamins and minerals and proteins that are found in them is just becomes hugely different. Exponential is the word I was looking for there. So so they're very nutritious, okay? The other thing too is that they also start to produce enzymes which are brilliant for digestion. So if, for instance, you're one of those people perhaps who has problems digesting perhaps carbohydrates, well, what you'll find is that when you're having sandwiches that have sprouts in them, they're much less likely to cause things like bloating, which is really good, isn't it? The other thing too with sprouting is that it stops something we call enzyme inhibitors from being activated, which can actually block our body's ability to uptake nutrients. So that is also a real good benefit too, isn't it? We also know that when seeds are sprouted, of course, this increases their life force. So this is why it's one of the key things that I get people who have perhaps some fertility issues to start sprouting and eating seeds, because it's going to increase also their own life force. Yeah. So yes, and also, of course, with all these lovely vitamins and minerals that have been liberated, they are in a much more bioavailable form too, yeah? So the other thing too is that we can actually select the types of seeds that we perhaps want to be eating to bring their own health benefits. So for instance, if we're thinking of things like the brassica family, so your broccolis and so on, they've been very well researched as being brilliant for things like liver detoxification. If you are finding that you have perhaps a lot of flatulence or have quite a mucousy form of asthma, then actually having a mix of seeds that has some fennel in there will not only be nutritious, but also be really beneficial for that. Also, I find because I'm what I would consider to be a slightly cold constitution, so I tend to feel the cold more, if I add mustard seeds in, they're great also for giving my body a little bit of a heating boost and metabolism boost as well too. So, and also too, I guess when you're thinking like at the moment where we've got a wintry, wet, cold day here in New Zealand, and often in the winter months we stop having a bit less access to perhaps those brightly coloured fruits and vegetables that supply so much of our vitamin C for us. So when you are having sprouts, of course, they are a really bioavailable, brilliant form of vitamin C. So when I'm thinking about the sources of seeds, this is also vital. We want to make sure that they are non-GMO, okay? So genetically modified, because what happens is those are often made as terminator seeds, so it means that they won't actually sprout. The other thing you need to make sure you avoid is anything that is irradiated. So if it's been brought from overseas, then it's likely that that also will deactivate its ability to sprout. And of course, buying organic is a really good idea because you're actually going to get less pesticides and you're going to get a much more vital looking organism or plant sprout as well too. So for myself, I often go down to, in New Plymouth, we have a wonderful health store called Down to Earth, and they do all sorts of mixes of sprouting seeds. So I've got one here which is called the High Health Sprouting Mix, and this has got a beautiful mixture of some really tasty and nutritious little seeds in it. But you can also look at things like king seeds online, and I'm sure just Google online and you'll find all sorts of goodies. So yeah, that's just something to be mindful of. When we're thinking also about, how long do these last, perhaps once they've been sprouted, they're going to easily last a week. And for some people, it's helpful to know, when is it actually past its best. So I've brought in some here that I sprouted about a week ago. and you can see that they are, hopefully you can see, that they're just starting to get a little bit yellowed and a little bit more brown, particularly on the root, end of the root system. And they start to have a slightly different smell as well too. They smell less fresh. So those will be good for another day or two, but you certainly would want to have made sure you replace them. And sprouting seeds is so quick and easy. It takes us no time at all. So all you need really, I mean, there's lots of amazing sprouting containers that you can, sprouting machines and all sorts of things that you can get. I just like to use the good old AG jar with a sprouting lid, and I think you can get these also from Down to Earth for the sprouting lids for about $6 from memory, so it's really economical. And so what I do is I would take 1 to 2 tablespoons of my sprouting mix, or it could be things like mung beans or whatever, and I will put them into here, and then I will fill it up with water, and then I will leave it for overnight, or at least around about 12 hours. And so what that actually does is sort of brings it out of its dormancy and starts things being activated. And then in the morning I'd get up and I'd rinse it, give it a good rinse, maybe once or twice, because there can be quite a lot of sort of waste material that gets sort of pushed out by the seed. And then I would drain it. So I would have perhaps a dish that it sits on, so that it can just drain and the seeds can do their thing. And then I would go and place it in perhaps a cupboard, somewhere where it's certainly out of direct light. It prefers to be somewhere that's a bit dark. They seem to sprout a lot faster. And then 1 to 2 times a day, what I'll do is I'll go out, grab my seeds, again, fill it up with water, leave it there for maybe 10-15 minutes, pour out the water, give it a quick rinse, put it down to drain again, put it back in the cupboard. So honestly, that takes me like, I don't know, a minute. And usually what you'll find is in sort of summertime, you'll usually have seeds. I'll have from 1 or 2 tablespoons, I'll have a full jar within about 3 to 4 days. In wintertime, sometimes it can take a little bit longer. So you might be looking more at the 4 to 5 day type length of time in New Zealand and the North Island. So that's the key things to just realise in regards to sprouting your seeds. It can be as easy as that. And the only other thing I was just going to mention is, how do we use them? So, putting them obviously in things like your salads or your sandwiches, as I mentioned previously, could be good. But sometimes too, in the winter months, particularly when we're having a lot more of the slow-cooked hot foods, it can be quite good to just throw like a handful of sprouts on top once you've served them up on the plates. Again, just to make sure that people are getting some good enzymes to help with perhaps the increased protein, and also too just to support vitamin C levels as well. You can also put them into things like your smoothies or your juices. You can sprout some chickpeas and make your own hummus. That actually can be really delicious too. And then of course too, with your things like your stir fries, popping in some mung beans could be a really good idea. So I hope I've converted you to how totally easy and cost-effective and beneficial sprouting is. And I'd love to hear from you. So if you have any questions, feel free to put a message below my YouTube clip. So thanks very much. You have a great day. Bye.